I'm staring at my phone at 11:47 at night on my own birthday, watching my best friend's Instagram story of her laughing in some guy's car with the caption, "Unexpected nights hit different." And I swear my whole chest just caved in. Let me take you back. Priya and I have been best friends since sophomore year. We met in AP World History when our teacher paired us up for a project on the Arman Empire. And instead of actually working, we spent the entire first session talking about how we both had the exact same irrational fear of those automatic toilet flushers. That sounds so stupid, but something about that conversation just clicked, like when you meet someone and you skip the small talk phase entirely and go straight to being real. Within a month, she was the person I texted first when literally anything happened. Good grade? Priya. Boy drama? Priya. My parents fighting at 2 a.m. and me sitting on my bedroom floor with my knees pulled up. Priya every single time. She was there for all of it. And I was there for all of hers too. When her older sister got into a car accident and was in the hospital for 3 weeks, I brought her homework every day and sat with her in the cafeteria so she wouldn't have to explain to anyone else why she'd been crying. That was us. We weren't the kind of friends who just hung out at school and forgot each other existed over the summer. We were deep. We were locked in, or at least I thought we were. I'm Marin, by the way. I just turned 17, and this story is about how one single night made me question 2 years of friendship. Here's the thing though, if I'm being completely honest, the cracks were there before my birthday. I just didn't want to look at them. Junior year started in September, and Priya got put in a bunch of different classes than me, which happens, whatever. But then she started sitting with this new group at lunch. There was this girl, Sienna, who I'd never really talked to, and a couple of guys from the lacrosse team, and suddenly Priya had all these inside jokes I wasn't part of. She'd reference something that happened in their group chat and then go, "Oh, you had to be there," and laugh. And I'd laugh too, like it didn't sting. But it did. I told myself I was being clingy. I told myself friendships evolve and it doesn't mean anything and I should just be happy she's meeting new people. And honestly, I do believe that. I'm not the kind of person who thinks your best friend can't have other friends. But there's a difference between your best friend having other friends and your best friend slowly replacing you while you pretend not to notice. By October, she was taking days to respond to my texts. Not hours, days. And when she did respond, it was always something short like lol or that's crazy or the thumbs up emoji, which is basically the digital equivalent of someone patting you on the head and walking away. I kept initiating everything. Every plan, every hangout, every conversation. And she'd show up, but it started to feel like she was doing me a favor, like I was a chore on her to-do list. And the worst part? I never said anything. I just kept swallowing it. My birthday is November 12th, and I'd been planning this thing for weeks. Nothing crazy, just dinner at this Korean BBQ place downtown that Priya and I had been saying we wanted to try since like August. I invited 8 people. Priya was the first person I told, obviously. I literally brought it up in person, during one of the rare times we were actually hanging out alone, and I said, "I really want you there. Like, it won't feel right without you." And she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Marin, obviously I'm coming. It's your birthday. I wouldn't miss it." She said that, those exact words. I remember because I replayed them in my head about 400 times afterward. So the week of my birthday comes and everything's set. Reservation for 9 people at 7 p.m. I'm genuinely excited. I even bought a new top, which I never do because I wanted to feel good. The morning of I wake up to a text from Priya sent at 6:43 a.m. that says, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but I woke up super nauseous and I think I have a stomach bug or something. I don't think I can make it tonight. I feel horrible. Happy birthday though, love you." I stared at that text for a long time, and look, people get sick, it happens. I'm not a monster. My first reaction was genuine concern. I texted back, "Oh no, feel better. You need anything? I can drop off soup or ginger ale after dinner." She said, "No, no, don't worry about me, just go have fun. I'll make it up to you, I promise." So I said, "Okay." I pushed down the weird feeling in my stomach and told myself she wouldn't lie about being sick. Not about this, not about my birthday. We went to dinner and it was actually fun. My other friends were great, but there was an empty chair and everyone could see it, and at one point my friend Danielle leaned over and whispered, "Is Priya okay?" And I just nodded and said she was sick, and Danielle gave me this look that I couldn't quite read, like she knew something I didn't. We finished dinner around 9:30. I got home, changed into sweats, and did what literally every person my age does. I opened Instagram. And there it was, Priya's story. Posted 40 minutes earlier, so right around the time I was splitting the check and pretending I didn't care about the empty seat. It was a video. She was in the passenger seat of a car I didn't recognize, and some song was blasting, and she was laughing with her head thrown back, and Sienna was driving. And in the back seat were 2 guys I'd never seen before. The caption said, "Unexpected nights hit different." She didn't even have the decency to put it on close friends. It was on her main story, where she knew I would see it, where everyone at my dinner would see it. My hands were literally shaking. I screenshot it before I could even think about whether that was petty. Then I just sat on my bed in the dark in my birthday outfit that I'd changed out of, and I felt something I don't even have a good word for. Not anger, not sadness, but this horrible, hollow feeling like the floor just dropped out from under everything I thought I knew. I texted her one message, "So you're not sick?" That's all I said. She didn't respond for 2 hours. When she finally did, she said, "Okay, I know how that looks, but I can explain." I didn't write back. I couldn't, because what do you even say to that? The next morning, my phone was blowing up. Danielle had seen the story. So had two other people from dinner. Danielle texted me, "I'm so sorry, but I need to tell you something." Sienna posted a story too, and Priya was literally tagged in it at some bowling alley. She sent me the screenshot, and there was Priya bowling, looking perfectly healthy, grinning at the exact time she was supposedly curled up in bed with a stomach bug. And then the group chat started. Not our group chat, the one without Priya. People were mad on my behalf. Danielle said she wanted to confront Priya. My friend Javi said it was unforgivable, and I'll be honest, part of me wanted to let them go off. Part of me wanted to sit back and let everyone tell Priya exactly how messed up this was so I didn't have to be the one to do it. But then Javi actually did text Priya separately, and he told her she was a terrible friend, and suddenly my phone lit up with a call from Priya. I picked up and she was crying, like actually crying, and she said, "Why is everyone attacking me?" I said I could explain. And I just went quiet for a second and then I said, "Priya, you lied to me on my birthday. You faked being sick and then posted yourself out having fun. What is there to explain?" And she said, and I swear this is a direct quote, "It wasn't like that. Sienna asked me last minute and I didn't know how to say no to her." And that broke something in me, because she didn't know how to say no to Sienna, but she had no problem saying no to me on my birthday after she promised. Here's the part I didn't see coming. About 3 days later, Danielle told me something that completely rearranged everything in my head. Apparently, Sienna had been telling people that Priya was obsessed with Marin and that she needed to get her own life. Multiple people confirmed this. Sienna had been actively making Priya feel embarrassed about our friendship for weeks, telling her it was weird how close we were, making little comments whenever Priya mentioned me. And the night of my birthday, Sienna literally told Priya, "If you ditch us to go to Marin's dinner, don't bother coming back." Priya had been getting squeezed out of that group every time she chose me, so she chose them. Not because she didn't care about me, but because she was terrified of being left out of the new group she'd built her entire junior year social life around. And when I heard that, I didn't feel better. I felt worse, because now I wasn't just mad. I was sad in a way that went so much deeper. So here's where things stand. Priya and I have talked since then. She apologized, she cried, she admitted she handled it in the worst possible way and said she's been feeling pulled in two directions for months. I believe her. But I also can't pretend it didn't happen. I can't pretend that seeing her laughing in that car on my birthday didn't fundamentally change something between us. And honestly, I have to own my part too. I never once told her how I was feeling when she started pulling away. I just kept swallowing it and expecting her to read my mind, and maybe if I'd said something earlier, we never would have gotten here. We're talking again, but it's different now. There's this carefulness between us that wasn't there before, and I don't know if that ever goes away. So I want to know what you think. Was Priya wrong for what she did, or was she just a scared kid caught between two groups who made a terrible choice under pressure? And was I wrong for letting everyone come at her instead of handling it between us first? Tell me honestly, because I genuinely don't know.